Okay, we are starting the webinar in a couple of minutes. Ja.
Kör vi.
Okay, we will start in 1 minute. And you are recording, Victor? Hello everyone, and welcome to the webinar. We are broadcasting from Auto Valley, Gothenburg, the home of Sweden's automotive industry. My name is Joachim Hökegård, and I will be moderating the webinar. We are going to email the PowerPoint and the recording to you afterwards. And please submit your questions in the comments up to the right, and we will address them after our presentation. But first, a brief introduction to Diadrum. Diadrum is a software company offering services and products within diagnostics of auto tech, and thereby enable companies to realize and exploit greater potential in their products and services. We work across the entire lifespan of a vehicle, from R&D to manufacturing and to the aftermarket. We have software products and expert consultants to update by the diagnostic capabilities and software, ensuring optimal performance and compliance with evolving standards and regulations. But now it's time for me to introduce our speaker, Victor Eliasson. He's the CEO of Diadrum Software, and as you are going to hear, he's an expert in diagnostic for software for the automotive industry. Victor, the stage and camera is yours.
Thank you, Joachim. Thank you. So, time for some knowledge sharing here. This Friday lunch, we are going to discuss the software-defined vehicle and what changes it will bring. This is the buzz year of the year, of course, as everybody knows, and that's why it's a most interesting topic. So the agenda for today, so you know what we will cover. We will cover the background, also the trends, what kind of impact the software-defined vehicle will have, but also going into some what kind of mindset and what kind of design you should have for the software-defined vehicle. And of course, then we are going forward with some solutions, but also some summary of what we have talked about today. So, as scholars, we are here at the Diadrum. We need to go back and do the definition of the software-defined vehicle. We need to start with, okay, what's software then? According to the Cambridge Dictionary, software is a pair of instructions that control what a computer does, also computer programs. Defined is something you explained and describe to a certain extent and limits of something. In this case, it's a vehicle. And what's a vehicle then? It's a machine, mostly used with wheels and an engine that are transporting people or goods. In this case, of course, vehicle is based on land. If we talk about boats, it's a vessel. So, in short, we are talking about a vehicle that are defined, limited to its software. That's what software-defined vehicle is, and how it adds value to the industry. So, some background and fast-track history of the software-defined vehicle. We will start as we're not getting biblical here, but the Tower of the Babel, where all the OEMs were gathering, building automotives via mechanics. But after a while, they were spread out to the world. Software started to bring into the cars, and people were starting to speak different languages, but also the cars started speaking different languages, standards, etc. And this created a great complexity until a man called Elon Musk came on and delivered his Tesla, which was an iPhone on wheels then. And everybody started to think, okay, we need to go there, we need to standardize, we need to simplify our software so we can approach the Tesla effort of this thing. And the next thing, of course, is where we are today. We need to abstract the vehicle. We need to create a digital value stream, but also a physical value stream, so we can go forward and scale our products going forward. So the software trends as today, we see ECU consolidation. In today's cars, we have much more than like 100 different small computers running the car. However, we are seeing a decrease in different small computers into major computers, which will do the same execution of software. So decreasing ECUs, but also the second trend is, of course, software volume and the complexity it brings. We see a lot of much more line of codes will be in the car, and we need to handle that, and also the complexity within that. The third trend is, of course, how should we fight this together? We need to work as an industry. We need to give value for every value chain. As a tier 2, tier 1 OEM, we need to bring value to the table so we are able to compete with the new kids on the block. And as I said before, we're going to more centralized car platform. This will bring different kind of services within the car. We will share different microcontrollers, etc. We need to make virtual MCUs on MCUs, etc. And also the case enablers, connectivity, autonomous, shared, and electrification trend. As we see here today on the fingerprint, there are a lot of new stuff going on. We have zonal modules who will handle different parts of the car. We also need to have a new knowledge about the developing architecture. We also have to see how we should distribute the power within the car. Moreover, scalability will be the key going forward as well. So this is what we're facing when we're introducing the software-defined vehicle. The complexity have been rising since the early 2010s and have been increasing ever since. And this is just a curve when we do not have the software-defined vehicle. This is just an old software based car. So this will be even more complex over the time, and we need to help out diminishing the space between complexity and productivity with tools, software, and knowledge. So what is the impact of the software-defined vehicle then? On the good side, We see that a lot of OEM, but also Tier 1, is aiming to gain from this software approach. We see ZF, who is one of the biggest Tier 1 suppliers, moving into the software-defined vehicle, and software come first. And we have to know this is an old hardware company that are now trying to be a software company. This will have huge impact on their so-called DNA and culture within ZF. Moreover, we are about to build super cars that will be below 20,000 euros. This is possible. Why? Because we will have to make a lot of money on subscription services and feature add-on throughout the product lifecycle. So the old way of selling car, a big chunk in the beginning, and then do some services is old stuff. Now we need to make it the opposite. We need to sell the platform cheap, and we have to take the revenue later on. So why is this then? This is the biggest why of the industry. As we've gone through the electrification, everyone know that there will be no more or very small number of oil filters going forward. The old style of selling cars, as I said before, sell a car quite expensive, then make some revenue on services, is no longer applicable. Now these days, you will lease a car, you will subscribe a car, but you will also add more features as you go. And the big paradigm shift here is on combustion engine cars. The people, the OEM, the workshops wanted to be on the workshop so they can change all filters and sell you a lot of stuff. However, regarding subscription business model, they do not want to have any physical contact with you at all because it costs money. We will have digital connection, of course, but physical connection is a big no-no, and it drives costs. So the software journey, it's underway, and it's already started. As you can see here, as the first quote here, we'll have an industry which will be about 650 billion in value for the automotive industry going forward. And also, this is old news, but in 2023, we had 50% of all the 10 top makers, automakers, will have new features through software updates. But also, the end consumer is also eager to pay for a more improved car with added features throughout the life cycle of the car. So the software-defined challenges. So of course, we have a big spectrum of different domains that will go into each other. We have, of course, the electrical architecture, the embedded software. We have the vehicle computing. We also have the cloud services and also the mobility side of it. And all of these will have to bridge each other, and this is how we will create future value by standardization, but also how to work together in this domain. Okay, how should we think when we're designing the software-defined vehicle then? We should think of the car as we have to chop it up. We have to chop it up into hardware, doing one abstraction layer for the middleware, the software, the basic software, but also chop it up and have an abstraction layer so you can add multiply application on multiply modules. But also we have to make sure that we have connected communication with the card, so we can do over-the-air update services, remote diagnostics, etc. But the fifth part that is quite new is that we need to make money from the data that is getting gained from the vehicle. And this is databases that we need to monetize in somehow. And this is a new business model that is in the beginning. So I have a lot of inspiration from a rock star in the industry, who is Dr. Noy Kirshum. He's Electrobit guy, and he describes the software-defined vehicle in this way. We need to decouple life cycle of software and hardware, of course. This is what I was talking about before. We need to create abstraction layer for each layer. And as a easy comparison, you can compare it to the car with the cell phone. So if Apple, for example, would have to maintain each application for each iOS version, it will be a super big job, and that will drive money and cost and complexity. So they have been using the same application for newer iOS operating systems throughout the generations of iPhones. Of course, the second one is we have to deliver new value in existing vehicles. We need to update the car as we go. I know that it was the NVIDIA CEO, Mr. Huang, who said, I want my car to be better and better as much as more as I drive the car. And this is, of course, a value proposition that we need to take care of. The car needs to learn your unique features, your unique needs, and have to adapt itself to the user. So, and this is also a comparison for an iPhone, for example. Would you buy an iPhone if you're not been able to add application to it? No, probably you would use buying Android instead if they have an app store. And the last thing here regarding, as I said before, capture value of software, databases, etc. We need to find out how to monetize the data that is generated from the cars. So, example, would Google give away Android, the operating system, for free without making any money of it? No. They're making tons of money from the data that are being generated from all people using the Android platform. And this is, of course, the same thinking we need to have on the software-defined vehicle. Moreover, what has been overlooked, I think, and has many people have a lot of OEMs have a lot of trouble with is the over-the-air updates. It's the backbone for the software-defined vehicle. Not that it needs just regular vehicle updates and ensuring a secure ride, but as I've been highlighting here in orange, we need to have easy access to add new features and revenue generation from the car. So we need to have seamless enablers for subscription-based upgrades, for example, horsepowers, or ADAS functions or autonomous drive functions that you can buy directly in your infotainment or in your cell phone and add to a car directly. And this is just another take on it. There are some German OEMs that are taking money for different features as today. For us in the Scandinavians, we will probably need some seat heating here in the winters, but then we have to pay like $120 for that every year. That's a good thing, probably for the South Europeans that don't have that kind of cold weather, but for us, it will be an added cost in the future. So, going forward, and some summary then for the software-defined vehicle. There are some major delays and impact. There are a huge problem regarding the software and electrical architecture for several OEMs out there, which have impacted them and gave them some vehicle module delays, etc. Premium cars will be delayed, but also company-wide structural car software have also been delayed for several years into the future. So how could we as an industry help out or make things better for the industry? We at Diadrome, we are focusing on closing the software gap, as you can see on the top, but also focus relentless on cost and speed. And how to do that then? Of course, from our side, we are having initiatives as a Diadrom Academy, which we provides education and training for diagnostics, but also software, how it works throughout the product lifecycle management, where we're offering several different courses. This is something the industry should come together as well, create training and education material so everyone is up to speed regarding how to think of the software-defined vehicle. But also scalability. Scalability is probably the most important thing here. We need to stop thinking of cars as a project. We need to start thinking as a continuous development that will never end. And there we need to reuse software, we need to reuse tools, we need to reuse processes. Otherwise, we will never have a software-defined vehicle. And from our side at Diadrom, we are focusing, of course, relentless on continuous integration, DevOps concepts, of course, to ensure time to market, decrease of cost, but also higher quality in the end. The third one is something we are going to have a webinar in about 2 weeks, open source software, sorry. This is something we need to work with as an industry, of course. We need to realize that software is just a line of codes. If it's not being used, it will grow old and it will give no value at all. So we need to find a way where we can cooperate and we can share software and build upon each other's IP, etc. So we can iterate solutions faster in the future. So as a summary then, what's the software-defined vehicle? And it's not just about adding over-the-air updates, not adding connectivity, or just adding more software in the vehicle. This is stuff we have today. This is just traditional car at the moment. The mindset is to think about the software-defined vehicle is reducing time to market for software innovation. We need to decouple parts of life cycle, of course, software and hardware. But the biggest stuff here is we need to change the mindset of ownership, as I said before, regarding open source software. We need to change how we develop software and hardware, and we also have to change mindset how we should make money, business models, and how to increase revenue and margins after we have sold the car the first time. And of course, as an expert in this area, Diadrom, we think diagnostic will play a critical part going forward, of course, because it will enhance efficiency, safety, of course, but also reliability of software. And the last thing is, of course, reduce costs, and then at the end, give the end customer a great experience. So now we're here, Joachim.
Yes, now we are here. If there are any questions, please submit them in the comments. But I have a question, Victor. If I bought a car this year, the year of 2024, regardless of brand, is it a software-defined vehicle?
I'm probably 100% sure that it's not a software-defined vehicle as today. I think there will be the one who is probably closest to it might be Tesla, because I think the majority of the OEMs is still working on silos and projects with different kind of setups with tools, processes, and software. When we are all in together in one process, using the same tools, using the same software, reusing it, then OEM will probably live up to the title of having a software-defined vehicle.
Interesting. Everyone is talking about it, but what challenges do automakers face in the development and deployment of SDVs, software-defined vehicles?
Yeah, I think it's what we talk about. I think a big part is, of course, legacy. You have to change your mindset how to develop things. As I said before, you have to use the same tools throughout the company, so you can combine, reuse processes, etc. So I think it's a more legacy type of thing that the major investment here is to scrap everything you have done before and start all over, I think.
Well, we are here in Gothenburg. It's an automotive city, and we want to have a lot of collaboration and partnerships. And what role do collaboration and partnerships play in the deployment of software-defined vehicles?
No, but I think it's as the trend was that we have to have a value chain, really a value chain going forward. We need to have experts in every area which are talking to each other, which are reusing each other's processes and knowledge to start gaining momentum in the development. So I'm looking forward to join our customers, but also competitors, of course, in some kind of forum how we should work together and make a great community of it all.
Yes, yes, and if we are talking about value, we can talk about the life cycle management of a vehicle. But how does the software-defined approach affect the life cycle management of vehicles?
Of course, it will be. It's as today it's really important as well, but I think it's even more important. Of course, if you're able to reuse the majority of the previous platform, etc., you will have more cars out there with the same software, with the same defined parts, etc. So I think it would be even more crucial to have these processes, what do you call it, clear and well done.
Okay, thank you. We are going to share more knowledge and inspiration about software. If you could please switch the PowerPoint page, Victor. You could download our book about diagnostics, and you could we have a newsletter about the auto tech industry, and Victor writes a lot interesting stuff at LinkedIn. So I think if you're interested in software in the automotive industry, you should follow both Victor and Diadroom at LinkedIn. But what's happening next, Victor?
Next up, of course, it would be for those who want to discuss, meet me and Joachim. Of course, we are able to set the meeting and discuss how should we make money from future business models, but also on the operational side, how could we reduce cost and time to market going forward? Because I think that's the probably most important things going forward. And together, let's get the basics of your software-defined vehicle software on the right track. I think that's what we should end with today.
Yes, we have 2 minutes left. But you were talking about we have a webinar. Again, the 12th of June, Diagnostics Want to Be Free. This webinar is about our open source project aimed at fostering innovation and enhancing vehicle safety. Do you want to say anything more about why why people should look at that webinar?
No, but I think, as I said before, collaboration and community will be the key going forward, and this is our take to provide and give back to the industry, which we will start sharing our own IP on the open source platforms, but also try to convince others to join us and take inspiration as I think this, we at Didome think this is the way going forward in the future. So we don't want any old code or old stuff just lying in the drawers. We want to bring it out so people can use it and make the best of it as well.
And I think we have webinars that we have broadcasted before, and I'm very happy because I know that a lot of people are not watching live; they are watching afterwards. So it's more and more people looking at this webinar, and they are still very relevant and interesting if you are working in this industry. And could you pitch those webinars that people can find on the internet?
Yes, the best way of finding it, of course, going into our YouTube site. Otherwise, it will be under our knowledge bank in the homepage. We have been talking about software download, how to work with that regarding bootloaders, etc., and why that's important. This is, of course, a topic related to the over-air updates, etc. And there we had another one regarding cybersecurity, what kind of trends are related, of course, to software-defined vehicle, and how you should work with that. So there are some super interesting webinars already uploaded, and there will be more going forward.
Now time is up. Have a very nice weekend.
Thank you, Joachim. Have a great one, everyone. Bye-bye.